Bring them to me at once. Seize all. Yes. Bring them to me at once. The soul sparks. Give them to me. Lifetimes have I waited. Now I can rest knowing that everything left of my people is preserved for eternity. I have created an ark to preserve what is left of the Drazir. Though all of Nirud will cease, my ark will endure. And these sparks will join the consciousness of the countless others within. Our fate is inevitable. The Custodian will return Nirud to Alepsis Torah. It will not emerge a second time. All that remains is yourself. Tell me, do you believe in free will? Perhaps. Not so the Drazir. I once believed in free will. The Ambit Ember has since shown me the fate of all things. For the Drazir, free will was an illusion. All of our achievements pointed us here, to Alepsis Torah. Our every action since was inevitable. Yet I did not foresee you. Or perhaps I chose not to. I would invite you to the Ark, small one. You will be a welcome addition to eternity. A crude description. I consume your essence and merge your consciousness with my people. It is immortality. Will you join us? That is your choice. You must believe your will is your own. Thus do the living endure their finite existence. So, what say you? What say you? Excellent and inevitable.
I'll just find the nearest world stone. Get a load of this place. All right, Clementine. Where are you?
Your task was a success. I see my calculations were not in error. Now, if I may have it. You have performed a great service. I and all Drazir are in your debt. Please, take this for your troubles. May it serve you well. Now, if you do not mind, I must begin my work.
Hey, you're back. What can I do to help?
Sure. Salt, yeah.
You know where to find me.
Well, hey, get away from my stew! Oh, it's you. What? No, of course not. Never seen you before in my life. I just figure you're you. You know? And I'm me, and that's where we are. So, what can old Mudtooth do for you, huh? Questions? I reckon I've got a few answers. Quite a bit, stranger. The name's Mudtooth, and ain't nobody been around longer or seen more than I have. Except maybe old Ford, of course, but that old mudder cheats. Anyway, he hardly tells any of his stories. Only 3 reasons why folks come to see me, and that's my stories or my stew. Yeah. So, young'un, what'll it be? That so? Huh. Did it tell you about the stories yet? Right. So, let me see here. Folks come see me for my stories and my stew and... Listen, you sure I said there were 3 reasons? 'Cause there's only 2, and that's certain. Huh. Only 2 reasons folks come to see old Mudtooth, and you know both of them. I'm pretty sure your memory's slipping. Town, you call it. Back in my day, a place like this wouldn't be considered much more than a camp or a bivouac. You might call it. Nah, this ain't no town. Not yet. But it is a fine place to set up camp. I lived by myself for years, see? Had myself a what you calls it, a hockapatopter. That thing could fly to the moon and back. It could. Anywho, I was living by myself when my boy Bravis showed up saying we should move on. Told me it wasn't safe for me to be living like I've been living no more. He told me about this place. Got some nice people here. Took some getting used to. Being all I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences what you wouldn't believe. Now, where to start? I've been telling tales about the Ford family for years. I tell you, nothing about them surprises me no more. Like old Commander Ford, one who used to run this here ward, she was the youngest of the family. She's the one what brought most of this town together. They say she's dead and buried, but they don't know the truth of it. See, the old commander were the youngest, but she ain't the last. Old Ford, her grandpa, is still kicking here in town. Crazy old man went and fought the Deadwood head-on and lived. Her grandmother was half Root herself. Folks used to call her the Root Mother. And oh, she were a twisted one, let me tell you. The thing about the Fords is, they can't die. Not a single damn one of them. I mean, look, they all thought old Ford had died long ago, and there he is, plain as day. I don't care what anyone says. I swear to you on my unborn brother's life, the other Fords are still out there somewhere, too. You won't believe this one, but you should. You ever wonder what the world was like before the Deadwood came? Well, pull up a chair, young'un. The world was filled with people. I'm talking millions, maybe even bazillions. Why, you couldn't sneeze without snotting someone in the face. Now, these folks weren't like us nowadays. They had so much food that they would eat for fun. They'd get together to eat the extra meat. They had spare ribs, called it a barbecue. They were immune to all kinds of diseases. And every one of them, every one, had a puppy. Huh. And the world was run by, let's see here, what was it now? Presidentures, yeah, that's it. On account of the ceremonial wooden teeth. Whole damn world was ruled by the presidentures of the United States, yes, sir. It was a better time then. Folks resolved their differences by coming together, listening to each other's problems and trying to solve them together. Oh, I guess that's what young Bo's trying to do with this place, ain't he? He ain't done half bad so far, neither. I reckon you gotta go through the bad to get to the good again. It's always there waiting if you just keep on looking. I guess that's what young Bo's trying to do with this place, ain't he? He ain't done half bad so far, neither. I reckon you gotta go through the bad to get to the good again. It's always there waiting if you just keep on looking. Don't think I told you this one yet. Let me tell you what those folks are up to in that atoll, that Ward 10 and 7. That was where they did their experimenting, see? They made weapons for the USA. That's what this land was called back then. And the root, you see, they were cloned. Yes, sir. They found root D and A trapped in red amber, and they done built themselves an army. But this army, it got out of hand and turned against them. Couldn't tell the difference between the Usanayans and whatever else there was. Pretty good weapon, if you ask me. Nigh on slaughter the whole damn world. Makes you think, though, what else were them Usanayans capable of? Maybe it's for the best they ain't around no more. Don't think I told you this one yet. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the root, just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. But this king, he got his, people together to Right, I was saying, the Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. As soon as the root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the Deadwood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. You won't believe this one, but you should. But they walk up and ask for stew and a story. I'm thinking they'll get tired, wander off, and take my story somewhere else like all the rest. But they don't. They listen to all of it. And I think to myself, this mother actually wants to hear these. Reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way I'd listen to her, and the way my boy Brabus used to listen to me. Before he turned away, that wanderer reminded me of family. And that's the most important thing, ain't it? So I figure I ain't left long for this world. So I give 'em my wife's old watch in thanks. Ain't too long after that, my boy Brabus comes back in person, first time in years, with a watch chain peeking out his pocket. I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say nothing. Just welcomed the boy back like nothing had changed. Family's the most important thing we got in this world, young'un. Don't forget that. Let me see here. It's about the time my own damn son left me to die. Oh, don't worry, I'm still here, ain't I? Or he went to get some grub for us or whatever, I don't know. Point is, I was alone in the darkened woods with nothing but my rifle. We was on our way from the city to our new home in the ward here, carrying all my earthly possessions and all that, and Brabus, he up and leaves me in the middle of the night. I was attacked. 20, no, 50 deadwood come crashing through the trees. We thought they was all dead and gone, but they were just a-waiting for old Mud-Tooth to leave his helio chopper. Now, I may be an old mudder, but I ain't no pushover. I blasted them down, left and right, laughing all the time. I was winning until something snuck up on me and concustipated me upside the head. I don't mind telling you, I thought I was done for. Then a growling starts. Deadwood back off, and I look up to see a dog there tearing them apart, literal limb from non-metaphorical limb. We fought the rest off together, that dog and I thought to myself, now there's a mudder what's got some teeth. Turns out he just wanted some of my stew. Let me see here. Ho! So, I got separated from the Crazy Eight, my gang, you see. We've been chased by these big old deadwood, taller than a man with 10 times as many pointy bits. Whew, nasty fellers. The others, they holed up in this old scrap building and slammed the door. Left me for dead. There was no way in. But there are these old pipes underground. Sewage, judging by the stink. But I weren't gonna stay out there with deadwood creeping round. So I held my breath and crawled through what must have been half a mile. I come busting out of the pipes and right into the middle of the Crazy Eight. They were holding me a funeral. I stand up, covered in mud and God knows what else, and just smile at them. And that, friend, is where I got the name Mud-Tooth. You won't believe this one, but you should. This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. Within that tower's a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? And he... Yeah, I'm getting to it. And within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper. And he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man, smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him. He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets. You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. You won't believe this one. But you should. Did I tell you You won't believe this one. But you should. Did I tell you I once sailed across that ocean to that old rusted tower? It was after that wanderer came through here and cleared out the storm. Old Mudtooth's crazy, you know, but I ain't stupid. I tell you, I saw things down there that you ain't never seen in your life. Down there in that rusted place was just machinery and roots twisting every which way, like the root themselves had built it. But they didn't. No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. You can see it plastered all over, and it was built by humans. By the folks Ford himself used to serve, if you can believe that. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electronicals they got down there are the same damn things you'll find in old Ward 10 and 3. In that place, I know he found it. He's the founder, after all. What were they up to down there? Now, that's the question. I heard some answers myself, but I don't know if I believe them. There's a story for another time. Don't think I told you this one yet. You heard about the old wards, right? Hell, you should have. You're on top of one. The wards were where the root were born. Government experiments, you understand. Well, the oldest one, Ward Goose Egg it's called, was where it all started. And that's where it was worst, see? So this mad scientist by the name of, let me see now, what was his name? Leto was his name. He says there's only one way we can stop what we made and save the world. So he flies his heliopopper. They flew back in those days, see, that's what they were built for. And he looks down at the ward where the root are pouring out like ants. He says, blow that sucker up. And boy, they did. Blew the whole damn thing. Didn't stop the root, though. I mean, obviously. You know, I actually can't think of another good one. Curse of getting old, I guess. Let me rest my mind eyes and my brain thoughts. Maybe some more will come to me.
Cherished journey. It matters little. The expression is the point. And if it does reach you, may it grant you some measure of joy. I've spent the better part of 2 centuries trying to understand the decision to leave them, to live with a dying sun and a finite existence instead of our eternal light. I thought your decision nihilistic, rebellious perhaps, a means to escape the endless expanse, or on my most bitter days, a naive attempt to relive our own world. But I have witnessed the seat of creation, studied its secrets. I think I am beginning to understand. Nothing is eternal. The Drasir, the root, even Ellipsis Torah itself. All will pass eventually. To exist is finite. Does the quantity of life matter then, or the quality? I see now you chose what was meaningful to you. A world, a sun, the remnants of our homeworld fauna. To do what? I know now that it doesn't matter. To live. I wish we could have shared this life. I am content with my choice, as I trust you are with yours. But I wish our choices could have aligned. If there is life after something beyond Ellipsis Torah, time and entropy, perhaps we can make choices anew. Until then...
Damn it.